bonjour à tous, and welcome back to French Action. French Action, the channel where we learn French, but also the channel where we improve our French. And that's what we're going to do today, because you know that pretty soon, especially if you're doing an exam, and here we're talking about CSEC in particular, which is the Caribbean French examinations. We're going to be having to deal with the writing. And of course, we have to prepare our writing. Last week, we had letter writing. And today, we're going to be dealing with the contextual dialogue. But as you know, I'm never on my own. So I'm going to call my guest today. All right. So you ready for my guests? Bonjour.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Kelly de Tourville, j'ai 16 ans et j'habite à Sainte-Lucie.
Sainte-Lucie. Ah, very good. Très bien, très bien, très bien. But Kelly is not on her own. Somebody you know already.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Akili Darling, je vais au Monroe College en Saint-Elizabeth en Jamaïque.
Okay, and then we have somebody else that you should know as well. Romani, can you hear us? Romani has a problem with this. Okay, I don't know if it's him or if it's me. Romani? Romani, are you there?
Bonjour.
Ah, ok. Tu veux te présenter, s'il te plaît?
Je suis Romani. J'habite en Jamaïque, à Sainte-Elizabeth.
Okay. All right. So we are going to start. It looks like I'm frozen again. Yes. Have I frozen again?
Oui, madame.
Oh, gosh. So pretty soon I'm going to be kicked out. I don't know why I get kicked out, but let's continue for the time being. So as I explained to you earlier on, sorry guys, it was me. The problem was me. All right. So as I explained to you earlier on, we did letter writing last week, but today is going to be contextual dialogue. I released a video on last Thursday on contextual dialogue, so I hope you had time to look at it so that you have an idea of what we're talking about. Okay? Have you or have you not?
Looked at like contextual dialogues.
Yeah, the video which I released on Thursday. Did you get time to watch it or not?
I have not taken a look at it.
Okay. What about you, Akili?
I didn't get a chance to fully look at it.
Okay. So Romani, same thing.
Same.
Okay. All right. So if you're ready, we're going to start the contextual dialogue. Okay. And I say bonjour to everyone. Bonjour, Becca. Becca was with us last week. I remember your name. Okay. So let's see how it goes for today, contextual dialogue. So I'm going to show you a few slides. Okay. So when you get your contextual dialogue, you're going to get something like this. Okay. So use 80 to 100 words to complete the dialogue. So you will have the dialogue between you and the landlord by giving your responses in French. You've seen that French is in capital letters because you'll be surprised how many students write in English. So your friend informs you that there is an apartment available for rent in the neighborhood, and you call the landlord to inquire about it. Okay? What comes to your mind straight away when you see that? Is it something feasible? Is it, what do you think? Anyone?
Could you repeat
Yeah?
the question, please?
Is it something you, I mean, when you read that, what is your first reaction? Is it, oh my God, or is it, yeah, can manage that? What comes to your mind?
I think I can manage that, miss.
Yes. Romani, what are you saying?
I think I could manage it as well.
Okay, what about you, Kaylee?
I think it will be okay, but I haven't really dealt with like contextual dialogues like this. I've dealt with contextual dialogues with like money. I think one between you and a waitress, you and an airport employee. I've worked with these type of contextual dialogues.
But you see, every year there will be a different dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, so that gives you good practice, doesn't it? Okay, so then you have this. Okay, so these are in the instructions. So you have the cues. Responses to all of the cues listed below must be included in the dialogue. If you don't do that, you know you're going to be penalized. 1, greetings and salutations. 2, date the apartment is available. 3, information on the rooms. 4, arrangements for viewing. Okay? So when you have that, you've already got quite a bit of information about what you will have to respond to. Okay? So greetings, I'm sure you can do that, right?
We
Oui, madam.
The apartment is available. You're going to, you're going to hear something about that, I'm sure. Information on the rooms, okay, and when you will be able to view it. Okay, so this is the one we are going to work on. Any questions so far?
No, madam.
No.
No, everything is in English. All right. So my first question to you is based on what we have just seen. Are we going to use tu or vous?
vous.
Vous.
Why? Why?
You have to
It's a
be
formal
polite.
situation.
Exactly. Okay, so that is very important because students tend to make mistakes. Okay, they always use tu, but in this case, it has to be vous. Okay, yes, Janaya, vous. All right. Sometimes I think, especially if you've already read the whole thing, a vocabulary brainstorm can be useful, especially if the contextual dialogue covers something which you were not expecting. Were you expecting something like that?
No.
No, madam.
Exactly. That's why I chose it. All right. So, what kind of vocabulary can you think of? Because you see,
Combien. Like how much?
how much? Okay. So the price. Okay. What else?
Well, pre,
The
like,
prix. Okay. 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 Becca says disponible. Do you know the word for what disponible means?
no,
No,
madam.
miss.
No.
Disponible means available. Okay. So that is very important. Okay. What are we talking about? What kind of accommodation are we talking about?
Renting.
Renting. Okay, so when we rent, what do we need to, I mean, what kind of words would attract this renting?
Um,
What's the word for rent, for example?
Um, not exactly sure, madam.
You're not sure.
Um,
Je
Okay.
ne veux pas.
Ah, okay. So you see, sorry, I was out again. So I was saying having the vocabulary is very important. Okay. If you look at the comments, you're going to see that Becca talked about disponible, which is available. Janae talked about louer, which is to rent. This is the kind of vocabulary which you may have to use in this particular context. Okay? So, this is the kind of vocabulary brainstorm I thought of whenever I saw that. Okay? So, available, disponible, louer, to rent, location, location. It's the geographical situation, okay? But location, I made a mistake here because location is basically the rental, okay? So you have to be careful. This is English. Loyer is the rent. Charge comprise, all charges included, okay? Appartement, I wrote appartement here to show you that there's two P's because very often the students only put one and they forget the E as well after the T, okay? And also I thought of adding pièce because you need to know that pièce is a room in an apartment and not salle. The only salle you have is really salle de bain or maybe salle à manger. Yeah, you have salle à manger, salle de bain, but they are pièces. Okay? So maybe you can write down this vocabulary in case you need it. Okay? All right.
Oui, madame.
And then after that, we are going to go through the dialogue because when you have the instructions, then you have the dialogue. Okay? So you need to remember, obviously, you will have your paper in front of you, so it will be much easier to go through it. Here, we have slides, so that's a little bit difficult, okay? So I'm just going to go now through the responses to all the situations here, all the cues I meant, so that you can see the dialogue after, okay? Greetings and salutations, date the apartment is available, information on the room, arrangements for viewing. We have already read that. So now we have to read the text. Reading the text is very important because if you don't understand the text, it's going to be a bit challenging to complete the dialogue, okay? So, propriétaire, allô, bonjour, puis-je vous aider? So then you will have to say something there. OK. Oui, j'en ai deux, mais il y en a un qui est encore occupé. OK. Any problem with vocabulary? Kaylee, Akiliano, Mani?
Well, encore.
Still or again.
Which one? Which one? I'm talking about the ones I've read. Okay.
Encore.
Encore? Oh, anybody can answer that question? What does encore
Still or
still.
again.
It's still. In this context, it's still occupied. Okay. All right. So it means you can't rent it now. Okay. Eh bien, en principe, à partir de la fin de juillet. Any problem? Well, Janaye, yes, it means encore, but in this context, it means still. So you have to see. En principe, Becca means en principe, normally. Okay. En principe, normally. Alors, I just would like to draw your attention to à partir de, which means from. The from we're talking about is from with a date, okay? Not from, I come from a country, not that kind of from, okay? All right. Any questions there? No?
No, madam.
No,
All
madam.
right. Okay. Then the owner says, alors c'est un T3, deux chambres à coucher, la cuisine, le salon et la salle de bain. Okay, any problems with this?
What?
Yes, actually.
Tais-toi? I'm not sure what that means.
Okay. Alors, I have to admit, I'm the one who added this to the paper. Okay, it wasn't there, but I just thought that it's important for you to know that when you look for an accommodation, the rooms which are important are not just like in Jamaica, for example, is going to be the number of bedrooms, right?
Oui, madame.
In France is the number of rooms where you can live in those rooms, okay? And that includes the bedrooms and the living room, sometimes as well the dining rooms, but it doesn't include the kitchen, the toilets, or the bathroom, because you're supposed to have them. And you can't really sleep there, okay, even if you have a bath, but uh, you can probably sleep in a living room, okay, with a particular type of settee, but this is what we're talking about. So a T3 would be 2 bedrooms plus a room, and in this case is the salon, which is the living room. Okay.
Oui, madame.
All right.
Oui, madame.
Okay. I was thinking that maybe if you, I hope you've taken a picture of that, because I'm going to move to the next slide, which is going to be the continuation. So remember, it says, alors c'est un T3, 2 chambres à coucher, la cuisine, le salon et la salle de bain. Okay? And the owner says, 3 chambres. Alors, il y en a un autre, mais ce n'est pas à cet endroit. So you'll have to complete this. And then, any questions in terms of vocabulary there?
No, miss.
No? Okay.
No.
So,
Autre, madame.
which one?
Autre?
Autre, other, un autre, another.
Oh, another.
Okay. Another. So make notes if you don't know the vocabulary.
Oh, I have a question. A
Yes.
droite, I think. A droit.
Endroit is a place. Okay. But it's not at this place. Okay. At this location. Okay. That's the word I was supposed to put, is endroit. I was supposed to put for the place. Yes. Okay, so the owner says, oui, vous pouvez le voir demain, et c'est situé à 3 km d'ici. Any questions there? Clear?
No, no, miss.
Okay.
No, madam.
Akili? Just your face. I'm going by your face. Yes, Akili?
Well, I understand the vocabulary, but I feel like there's something I'm not understanding.
Okay. All right, so the owner says, monsieur, c'est 950 € par mois et l'eau, l'électricité et la climatisation sont comprises. I don't know why I put capital A at la and euro, but my apologies. Okay, you shouldn't put any capitals there. Okay. Donc, c'est 950 € par mois et l'eau, l'électricité et la climatisation sont comprises. Any problem there?
Climatisation, madame.
Climatisation is the air conditioning. The original text had chauffage, heating, but you know we don't really use heating in the Caribbean, right? So I changed it to climatisation. Okay. And it says, c'est bon, notre rendez-vous, c'est à 9 h. And that's the end. All right. So it's feasible, right?
Oui, madame.
Oui, madame.
It's feasible. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to ask you to do now, I'm going to show you the cues again, and I'm going to ask you to put the cues where you think they should fit. I'm going to give you 1 minute to do that, okay? Because the first thing you have to do after reading this is to put the cues where they should be, and it will make things much easier. When it's there, you will know exactly what, what to come up with. Whereas each time you'll have to say, okay, these cues and all right, so let's do it that way. That's what I would advise you to do. Okay, so these are the cues. So remember, you have 4 cues here: greetings and salutations, date, the apartment is available, information on the room, arrangements for viewing. So let's do the first 2. Okay,
Oui, madame.
greetings and salutations. So, oh, sorry, I have to go back to um, the text because I don't want you to see my answers. Okay, so greetings. Where are you going to put the greetings? You have 4 rules. Is that number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4?
Number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1. So what you will put is cues number 1, and that will help you much. It will help you. Then the other cues was the date of when the apartment will be available. Where do you think that can go? So you will have to ask a
Number 2.
question.
Number 2.
Number 2. Okay. All right.
Oui, madame.
Okay. So let's go back to the other 2. Information on the room and arrangement for viewing. All right. So anything here about the rooms?
Oui, madame. For the third rule,
The
because
third.
it started
All
describing
right.
about the rooms
Okay.
in the house.
Do you see how it works?
Oui, madame. So
So
you look
when
at
you put them already there, then it makes things 10 times easier. Okay.
oui, madame.
And then the next one is for the arrangement of the viewing. Where do you think you're going to put that?
Well, the last rule.
The last one?
Arrangement for viewing.
Miss, would it be the it's either the first or the second? I don't know.
Arrangements for viewing.
Okay, I'm going to show you what I have done. Okay, with the cues. Remember, greeting, salutation, date the apartment is available, information on the room, and arrangement for viewing. So this is where I put it, greeting and salutations. Date the apartment is available. I can ask the question because I've got the answer there. It tells me à partir de la fin de juillet. Okay. And then the owner seems to be answering a question. Is telling me that there's 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, etc. So that's where I'm going to put the information on the rooms. I want to find out how many rooms and so on. So that's where I'm going to put it. Do you agree with me?
Oui, madame.
All right. And then for the last one, arrangement for viewing, that's where I put it. Because you can't put it before, because before you didn't have the price. You want to know that you can afford it first to view that one. Do you agree with me, Kaylee? Because you said first or second originally. Yeah?
Yes, Miss.
Yeah. So this is where I put it. Okay? So let's do it now. So without all the cues now. All right. So now everybody, including those who are with us, I would like you to do line number 1. Allô, bonjour, puis-je vous aider? So line number 1, please. I want to see everything from everybody. And if there's mistakes, I'm going to correct you. Okay?
Oui, madame.
Miss, it's the first time I'm seeing hello. Can I just say
Ah,
sorry?
okay. Allô, it's When you say hello, it means that you're on the phone.
D'accord.
So if you're on the phone, you have to, normally you start with hello. Hello is one way of connecting, okay, are you hearing me? Hello? Yeah, and then you say whatever.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Alors, Becca, you said bonjour. Oui, s'il vous plaît. Ok. Bonjour. Puis-je vous aider? So you're answering. Okay, but Becca is not enough because look at what the owner is saying in the second line. And it has to match. Okay?
Miss,
Madame.
Madam, sorry. The second sentence, I'm not really like I understand the words in there, but the context I don't really get it. Not the first, the second one from the proprietor.
Alors, you're talking about where it says oui, j'en ai deux.
Oui.
Okay. Well, you are the one to put it in the context. That's what
Okay.
the contextual dialogue is all about. Alors, Akili says, allô, je m'appelle Akili Darling. Est-ce que vous avez un appartement?
Oh, an apartment to rent?
Okay. Oui, Akili, there's something missing. If I remember, it says greetings and salutations. Did you do any of that?
Give me madam.
Hello? So
Can you hear me?
greet? How do you greet? Yes, Akili, I can hear you. How do you greet?
Well, hello, because you said that's how you greet someone when you call them on the phone.
Not necessarily. Look, the owner says, hello, bonjour.
Oh.
It's in front of you. Alors, Becca had said, oui, s'il vous plaît, je voudrais louer un appartement. Okay. That's fine. The only problem, Becca, is that I would have expected a question because the owner says we. If you says we, it's because there's a question, which I don't see in your sentence there. Okay. So Romani says bonjour. Oui, j'ai besoin. Okay, Romani, you don't say j'ai besoin pour. What is the preposition after besoin? What is it? J'ai besoin d'un appartement because it's j'ai besoin de. Okay? So you have to remember that you say j'ai besoin de. Okay? Alors, Akili, you said, allô, bonjour, est-ce que vous avez un appartement? Je peux louer. You miss one little word.
S'il vous plaît?
No. Between appartement and je. Remember what we said last week? When you have two verbs which are conjugated, you have your bridge. What is the bridge I talked about last week?
Is it?
What is it?
I don't remember, madam. Huh?
When you have when you have two short sentences in a one big sentence, we call them clauses. Okay, so when you have two clauses which are going to make a big sentences, what is that little word which you need to have to link the two parts of your sentences? Romani, I said it last week. What is it?
Is it that L word?
No.
Wait, can you repeat, please, miss?
Okay, I'm just going to
I'm not
put
sure
it.
we're
It's a
understanding.
que.
Oh.
Est-ce que vous avez un appartement que je peux louer? So these are the two parts, and I need my bridge, and the bridge is que. Okay?
Oui, madame. Je suis désolé.
Okay. Alors, Kelly, you said vous avez un appartement loué. A little word is missing there. Vous avez un appartement loué. Can anybody give me that word? Vous avez un appartement?
Que.
Non.
Je peux.
No. Oh, que je peux louer. Okay, yes, you can say que je peux louer. That is correct. But I just need one little word, which is a preposition.
Wait, I'm not seeing it.
It's
Is it Lisa?
It's Kaylee. It's Kelly who said, bonjour, je m'appelle Kelly d'Etteville. Vous avez un appartement?
Pour.
Ah?
De.
Ah!
Oh.
Aha! À louer. Okay.
Oui, madame.
Okay, Kaylee?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
there's.
Yes. So if it was a flat for sale, what would you say? Un appartement?
à louer?
No, if it was to sell, you know, like
Oh. Sell an apartment.
à
You want
vendre. It would have been à vendre. Okay. But each time you put this a with the, and don't forget your, with an accent. Definitely with an accent, Becca, because if you don't have the accent, it's has. It means has, so that wouldn't be good, okay? Donc, bonjour, donc vous avez un appartement à louer. Janae, c'est je voudrais louer une pièce. Est-ce qu'il y a un, I'm not sure what that is, en trois, I don't know that word. Alors, Janae, une pièce is one room. It's not going to give you just one room, so I don't think that will work. Louez-vous un appartement? Becca, I don't really like louez-vous un appartement because the answer is oui, j'en ai deux. Otherwise, the answer would be oui, j'en loue deux. But it says j'en ai deux. So, not quite. Lisa, allô, bonjour. Avez-vous des appartements disponibles, not disponibles? Okay. Check out the spelling of disponible. Okay. Est-ce que vous avez un appartement que je peux louer? Akili, très bien. Okay. I'm going to put this answer there. Okay. Allô, bonjour. Est-ce que vous avez un appartement que je peux louer? And the owner is going to say, oui, j'en ai deux, mais il y en a un qui est encore occupé. Okay? So, what is going to be your sentence in number 2? So now I'm giving you some time to think about it, and you write it. Okay? So, Janae, you were talking about endroit, but I don't think endroit will go either because you're talking about a place. When I say endroit is a place, not the place. I'm talking about an area, okay? So endroit will not work here. Okay.
Miss, what's the
For number
Madam,
2, we are doing number 2 now, the second vous. So what is your answer? What is your answer? Yes, for the second vous.
Madam, what's the second cue again?
Yeah, that is the issue each time we have to go back. Date the apartment is available. But even without the cue, you can see what it should be because you have the answer already. Okay, so the cue is helping you really, but without the cue, you can still put something which is good. Okay? Okay, guys, I want to see a few things. Okay, so I'm going to remove the first one because if I don't do that, we're not going to see Romani. And that is not nice. Okay, anybody for the second line, please? Ok, Kelly, d'accord, ok. Quand est l'appartement disponible? Not quite, d'accord. Quand est-ce que l'appartement est disponible? What Akili put is correct, ok. Romani, I don't see yours. And you can't copy. Okay, so ok, Becca, not pour l'un qui n'est pas encore occupé, pour celui qui n'est pas encore occupé, not l'un, pour celui, Becca, ok? Alors, quand puis-je venir voir l'appartement, Lisa? So this one wasn't quite, because it says, if I put it back with the cues, that the apartment is available, okay? So I suppose what you're saying, quand puis-je venir voir l'appartement, if you're really stuck, but you want available somewhere here, if it's possible. Quand est-ce que l'appartement, c'est bon? OK. Quand est-ce que l'appartement est disponible? OK. OK. I'm going to go for Akili because Romani, you can't have a comma before a capital letter, right? You agree? D'accord, full stop. Quand est-ce que l'appartement est disponible? Okay? So don't forget your punctuation. All right, so eh bien, en principe, à partir de la fin de juillet. Now, you have to do line 3. Okay, so I go back to the cues, information on the rooms. So, Okay, so what are you writing? I'm not seeing anything yet. Alors, Kelly, combien de pièces dans l'appartement? Okay. It would have been nice, Kelly, to have a verb in your question.
Okay.
Right?
Lisa, I know it sounded off without one. I was just trying to figure out which verb could I fit in there.
Combien de pièces dans l'appartement? Okay, people can actually say that, but you need to show the examiner that you know your structures. It's you know, you have to show off, you know.
Okay.
When you have an exam, you have to really try to impress the examiner. But when I see combien de pièces dans l'appartement, there's no verb in your sentence. Okay. Alors, Janaye says, puis-je avoir des informations sur l'appartement? That's very good. Okay. Anything else, guys? Donc, combien de pièces dans l'appartement? Puis-je avoir des informations sur l'appartement? Akili et Romani? Alors, Ney, c'est bien. Combien de pièces y a-t-il dans l'appartement? OK. Ney, the hyphen should have been between the A and the T to show that is the T you're adding because of pronunciation. You don't want to say Yail, so we add that little T, but the T is between two hyphens. But you put the hyphen between the Y and the A. OK? Donc, combien de pièces y a-t-il dans l'appartement? D'accord. Quelles sont les pièces disponibles pour cet appartement? Why did you say, Becca, quelles sont les pièces disponibles? Why? It's either you have an apartment or not. I'm not sure why you put that. Okay.
Madam, I just wanted to know what verb in my sentence do you think I could have added? Because I wanted to use so I wanted to say combien.
All right. Can you see the comments?
Oui, madam.
All right. So if you look at what Nay or Lisa have put, that's basically what you should have put.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Lisa has put, you can see this. All right, I'm putting it on the screen. C'est très bien. Combien de pièces y a-t-il dans l'appartement? Okay. Don't forget, près, Lisa should have had an accent. Okay. So you have to remember your accent. Okay. And Ania, you don't have an apostrophe. It's really the hyphens. Okay. So Akili and Romani, nothing?
Miss, I think so. Oh,
You have a little black here, miss. I think I'm like.
Oh, okay. Romani put it somewhere else.
my bad.
Okay. Can you try to put it in the comments, please? And then you miss an A for appartement. All right. Okay. So I can show you what you could have put. I like this one. Puis-je avoir des informations sur sur l'appartement? des informations ou des renseignements. OK. Alors, Akili, appartement is masculine, and remember when you have the two A's, you need to have the
Apostrophe.
So that sentence is incorrect, Akili.
Oui, madame.
Combien les pièces? No. What comes after combien?
Deux.
Bien deux.
DE, always.
Oui.
So combien les pièces wouldn't work, okay? Okay, this one. Romani, pouvez-vous me donner des informations? Ah non, pas de l'appartement, but sur l'appartement, s'il vous plaît. I didn't read that one fully. Sur l'appartement, okay? So this is what Jane, I'm putting back. Can you see that, Romani? Puis-je avoir des informations sur l'appartement? Can you see it on the screen?
Oui, madame.
All right. Okay, so that we're going with this. Okay, so the answer is, alors c'est un T3, deux chambres à coucher, la cuisine, le salon et la salle de bain. Okay, and then you have to say something, but I'm going to show you the next slide so that you can see what it says. 3 chambres. Alors, il y a un autre, mais ce n'est pas à cet endroit. Il y en a un autre. It should have been, il y en a un autre, mais ce n'est pas à cet endroit. OK? So, what would you put there then? Alors, Akili, parle-moi à propos de... No. That doesn't work at all. There's 4 mistakes in that sentence. First of all, you say parle-moi. You can't say parle because parle-moi.
Oh, parlez-moi.
The tu, so you should have the Z. À propos de, it's a bit long-winded. And de le, you can have de le. And PS is feminine in any case. Dans, I don't know why there's no S at dans.
Cut off.
Yes, okay. So that sentence is not right. Okay. Bien, so remember, he says 3 chambres. Alors, il y en a un autre, mais ce n'est pas à cet endroit. Okay, so what would you say there? Alors, Jane c'est, oh non, je voudrais un appartement avec 3 chambres. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. What about you, Kaylee, Akili, and Omani?
Miss, can you go back to
3 chambres.
Merci, madame.
Kaylee, you have written something?
Miss, I'm about to send it.
Okay. Quelle catastrophe! Oh. Akili says, quelle catastrophe! Est-ce qu'il y a un appartement avec 3 chambres? Ok. Catastrophe, Akili is feminine.
Oui, madame.
But quelle catastrophe, I just feel that it's a bit much, just for... Quelle catastrophe, like, you know. Kaylee said, quel dommage. I prefer quel dommage. Mais j'aimerais un appartement avec 3 chambres. Kelly, that's fine, but I don't want a capital letter in the
Okay.
middle of a sentence, please. Can you try
Yes,
that?
I'll
Okay?
fix that.
Alors, Janae is asking, can you go back on the slide before? Okay. So that was a slide before, Janae. Alors, les shows Noël, you said non, je veux l'appartement. You can have l'appartement. And then you put 3 chambres, and chambre. What is missing at chambre? Leshon, you need to go back to this. Okay. All right. I like that. Kaylee. Quel dommage, mais j'aimerais un appartement avec 3 chambres. You miss the ENT. How come, Kaylee?
Oh, Miss, that was probably a typo.
Yes, but I have to remove this.
Okay, I'll fix it up.
All right. Enya says vraiment. Alors, Enya, peux-je, you can't say that. Peux-je doesn't work. Okay? You can only say est-ce que je peux. Okay? Voir s'il y a une autre fois,
Miss,
s'il vous plaît.
Madam, you say quel dommage. Can you say ah dommage?
Quel dommage. What a shame.
No, like can you say ah dommage? Like too bad.
No, I don't know that. Ah, dommage, no. If you say A-H, dommage, yeah, that could work if that's what you mean. Okay. Alors, Anya, you have to work on that sentence. Ney, j'espérais un appartement avec 3 chambres. Y a-t-il autre chose? Y a-t-il autre chose disponible? Alors, Nai, there's something you missed out apart from the accent of j'espérais. Y a-t-il autre chose? Ney, il y a autre chose. Something is missing. Y a-t-il autre chose? Akili, Kaylee, and Romani, can you correct Ney at 452? J'espérais un appartement avec 3 chambres. Y a-t-il autre chose disponible?
Miss, is her tense fine for j'espérais?
No. J'espérais is fine. She's using the imperfect. I was hoping for. Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Y a-t-il autre chose? A preposition, guys? Y a-t-il autre chose de disponible? Okay, Ney, I would like to see that again with espérer with the accent and de disponible, please. Akili, il y a 2 problèmes. If you say il y a 2 problèmes, it means there are 2 problems. D-E-U-X.
Oh, okay. Madam.
Problem would have an S and an E because problem has an E at the end. So, il y a 2 problèmes. That doesn't work. Est-ce qu'il y a un appartement avec 3 chambres? Okay, we can go for est-ce qu'il y a un appartement avec 3 chambres? Okay.
Madam, because I know of the saying il n'y a pas de problème. So I was thinking if I could remove the negative to say that there is a problem.
Okay, you can't. You have to say il n'y a pas de problème. As you said, you have to have the pas as well, the N apostrophe and the pas. Yes, you could put that. Il n'y a pas de problème. But the French don't say that, that much. It's like I've seen in some of the works where students would say no problem, Just because I say thank you, no problem. No. If you say thank you, is you're welcome. No problem is not part of it. Okay. All right.
We were
So,
taught cinepagraph.
pardon, Romani?
We were taught pas de problème, il n'a pas de problème.
Pas de problème, yeah, but that's not what we put.
Cinepagraph.
We put il y a, ou ce n'est pas grave. Okay, that I agree with that. Pas de problème, but il y a de problèmes. That doesn't work. Okay, Akili?
Oui, madame.
Okay. So, Kelly, why did you put a question mark? Quel dommage, mais j'aimerais un appartement avec 3 chambres. Why question mark?
Well, I was thinking of putting a full stop. I do
I
not know
think the
why.
full stop will be better.
Yeah, because it isn't really a question.
Right. Okay. Becky says, quel malheureusement doesn't work. I don't really know what you mean there. Est-ce qu'il y a un appartement avec 3 chambres? Okay. Est-ce qu'il y a un appartement avec 3 chambres? The problem which I'm having with this one, okay, let's put the next. Alors, il y en a un autre, mais ce n'est pas à cet endroit. OK. So, here, il y en a un autre. OK, I go with that. Est-ce qu'il y a un appartement avec 3 chambres? OK, fine. Ah, dommage, mais je voudrais un appartement avec 3 pièces. That's not what he said, Romani. It says 3 chambres. Remember, the salon is une pièce. So, that is incorrect, okay? Alors, j'espérais, different accent, un appartement avec 3 chambres. Y a-t-il autre chose de disponible? Okay, that will work. With the accent on the other way. Quel dommage, mais j'aimerais un appartement avec 3 chambres, so I'm going to go for this one. OK? Quel dommage, mais j'aimerais un appartement avec 3 chambres. OK? Ça va?
Oui.
Okay. So, then we are 3 chambres. Alors, il y en a un autre, mais ce n'est pas à cet endroit. OK. Anya said vraiment pas de problème. OK, you have it, Romani, pas de problème. Non, not Romani, Akili, pas de problème. Est-ce que je peux voir l'autre appartement bientôt et où est-ce? OK. Appartement, Anya is 2 P's. OK, I mentioned this at the beginning. So she's talking about now the next vous. So please do the next vous. OK. The music is coming from where? Okay, if music coming from you, you need to mute it, please.
Okay, miss. I think it may be me, my background.
Okay,
Give me a
all right.
second.
Okay. So, Anya, don't forget, appartement, 2 P's.
Miss, is it better?
I'm not hearing it now.
Okay.
So, do you see how it works? Guys, you see how it works now?
Yes,
madam.
miss.
It's not difficult, is it?
No, madam.
Exactly. People say, oh, contextual dialogue. This, it's not difficult. Okay. Alors, Becky says, d'accord, c'est bonne. Puis-je... No, Becky, Okay, one thing you need to know, Becky, is that after say, you cannot have an adjective which is feminine. Okay, you can't have say bon, even if whatever you're talking about is feminine. Okay, that is one. And the second, puis is fine, but there's no verb. There's no verb. Puis, can I do that? Can I what? So you need to- Is it the sound is from you, Kaylee? People talking? Is it from your house?
Probably.
Can you please tell them that
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
live, please? Alors, Becca, puis-je le voir demain? Quelle est la distance? Okay, I can accept that. Alors, quelle est la distance? I must say I accept it, but I don't really like it. What is the distance of what? I mean, it's not really clear. Okay. Janae, wow, c'est génial. Okay, that's good. Où est-il situé? Okay, I like that. Okay, so Becky, you're saying, d'accord, merci. Puis-je voir? You cannot say le appartement. What should you put, Becky? Okay, Janae, quand est-ce que je peux le voir? Okay. When you say quand est-ce que je peux le voir, that's not enough because there's two elements in the response. One, you can see it tomorrow, and two, it's situated somewhere else, okay? Kaylee, peux-je? Peux-je doesn't work.
Okay.
No, I have to correct this.
So Kaylee, peux-je doesn't work. What should it be?
Je peux?
Est-ce que je peux?
Est-ce
Or,
que...
or
Okay.
puis-je? One or the other, okay? Janae, you said I had two sentences. Yeah, I said it was good, Janae. Wow, c'est génial. Où est-il situé? I said it was okay. Akili, c'est bon. Akili, est l'appartement loin d'ici et
Oh, madam, I corrected it. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Janae, I'm not too sure what you're saying. Oh, quand est-ce que je peux le voir? Okay. Oh, l'appartement. Okay. Sorry, Janae. Okay. Okay. So, actually, you can't start l'appartement. Okay. You corrected it, but I don't see where it's corrected.
Oh,
It's not est-ce que. Est-ce que. Okay.
oh, oui,
Right.
madam.
Kaylee, d'accord. Guys, you can have a comma and then a capital letter after a comma.
I'm so sorry, miss.
D'accord. Est-ce que je peux voir l'appartement demain? Okay. Now it's Romani I'm waiting for. Ok, et quand... Akili, est-ce que l'appartement loin d'ici, where is the verb? Est-ce que is not your verb, you know. It's just an expression to formulate your questions, ok?
So,
Et quand je peux voir l'appartement... Kelly,
oh,
d'accord. Est-ce que je peux voir l'appartement demain? Ok, so we have that. D'accord. Est-ce que je peux voir l'appartement demain? From Kelly.
Madam, what verb are you referring to? Because I was trying to say, is it that the apartment is far from here?
Where is the is? Est-ce que l'appartement loin d'ici? Where is the is?
Oh,
Est-ce que is not is? Janet said something which I'm going to talk about. Yes, you have to keep to the word limit, and that is true. So what I would say to you regarding the word limit, it's either you count as you go, okay? But the way I do it, I find it difficult to do it. So what I do it first and then remove if there's too many or add if there's not enough. Okay? Alors, Romani, you didn't quite, you answered c'est situé à 3 km d'ici, but oui, vous pouvez le voir. You didn't answer that. Oui, vous pouvez le voir. You didn't respond to that, Romani. OK. OK, c'est bon. Est-ce que l'appartement est loin d'ici? Et quand je peux voir l'appartement? Quand est-ce que je peux voir l'appartement? Quand puis-je voir l'appartement? Come on, guys.
thinking like I'm talking in English, miss.
So the answer is oui, vous pouvez le voir demain et c'est situé à 3 km d'ici. Ney is asking, are there different situations in which we use puis and je peux? No, it's exactly the same thing. Puis is the old form of the French. You know, the old French, they used to say je puis instead of je peux. But we cannot use peu je because of the sound. Puis sounds 10 times better than peu je. I'm sure you agree with that, right? So, puis-je? And then in a conversation, sorry guys again, and I was saying in a conversation, what's going to happen is that you would have est-ce que je peux? It's either puis-je or est-ce que je peux? OK? Bon, Akili, c'est bon que l'appartement est loin d'ici et quand est-ce que je peux voir l'appartement? Alors, Akili, how many words, how many times do you have the word appartement in one question?
Would I put SKE like the maybe
And another
SE?
thing, remember when we did the letter last week, I said no repetitions. And Romani is doing the same thing. Even in English, you wouldn't use appartement twice.
Oh,
Oh, alors, why do we have object pronoun? Why do we have pronouns and object pronouns? Why do we have that? Amy, can you mute, please?
Oui, madame.
Yeah, I think it comes from your place.
Mrs. There's still noise. You can still talking because they're not talking at this moment.
No, they're not talking, but they were talking. When you stop, it stopped as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's the rain because it's also raining as well outside. So I'm not sure.
Okay, okay. We had the rain before the live, and when I say rain, good rain. No. Achille, I said you have used appartement twice.
I can remove it.
So you can't have a pronoun and then still have appartement. The Y is incorrect anyway, okay? So can somebody correct Achille? C'est bon, est-ce que l'appartement est loin d'ici et quand est-ce que je peux... Come on, guys. Romani, are you with us?
Oui, madam.
Okay.
Can
You
you
look
hear me?
frozen. You look
Yeah,
frozen.
my camera is frozen.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Madam, I'm not sure how to know where to put the E.
No, the E is incorrect.
The E is incorrect?
Alors, Kaylee, I'm going to tell you that if you say c'est bon que, bon, first of all, c'est bon que is incorrect, but you would have said c'est bien que. But if you say c'est bien que, you would need to have the subjunctive. So I don't think you want to go down that route. All right? All right.
Madam, that's just say.
Okay, I'm going to correct. Nobody can correct Achilles, so I'm going to have to do it. I'm trying.
Am I still frozen?
One last attempt.
Okay, try. I like that.
Miss.
Okay, so guys, you know that there's videos on pronouns, on object pronouns. You need to watch it and make sure that you can use your object pronouns before your exams because you're going to need that for letters, for contextual dialogue. Okay, like Becca, she has put an object pronoun in her question. Quand est-ce que je peux le voir? She put it there. Okay, Becca. But remember, Becca, a sentence starts with what? Guys, can you answer that question?
Letter.
A capital letter, okay? So basically, Achille, you needed to say, est-ce que l'appartement est loin d'ici? Et quand est-ce que je peux le voir? You... Okay. So Becca was helping you. Thank you, Becca. C'est bon. Est-ce que, I mean, I don't really like the c'est bon, hein? But est-ce que l'appartement est loin? Oh, sorry, I'm using the wrong one. Est-ce que l'appartement est loin d'ici et quand est-ce que je peux le voir? Okay, Janay, you put lion, which is lion and not. I know it's a typing error, but all right. Est-ce que l'appartement est loin d'ici et quand est-ce que je peux le voir? Le is your object pronouns. Okay? Okay, Janay, you have the capital letters, so please write your capital letters. Okay? Bien. Alors, oui, vous pouvez le voir demain, c'est situé à 3 km d'ici. I think that Kaylee had already started that by asking how much is the rent, okay? Unfortunately, Kelly, it's not correct. Combien de louer par mois? No, because louer is the verb, it's not the noun. Remember, I gave you the vocabulary before. Okay. Alors, Anya, c'est parfait. C'est prêt. I'm not sure what you mean. C'est prêt mes affaires. I don't understand that. Quel est le prix? Alors, quel est le prix? What is the price? I don't like quel est le prix because when you say quel est le prix, it sounds as if the apartment is for sale. What is the cost of the sale, which is not what you want. Alors, quel est le prix pour le louer? Okay, Janae. Not quite le prix, but because you said pour le louer. Becca, d'accord. Combien coûte la location par mois? Ok. La location. Ok. Combien coûte la location? There's another word, but I go for that. Okay. Alors, you need to know that when you rent a place, what you're going to pay is called un loyer. Okay. That's the word that they may want to see there. Okay. So the loyer is what should be there, I think. Okay. But Becca, if I were to mark you, I would still give you the point. Combien coûte la location par mois? Alors, Janelle, combien ça coûte? Yeah, you can say combien ça coûte, but ça ici, Sevilla, not SA. Okay?
Madam, is loyer the word for rent, or is it like bills?
I put the word for rent here, which is un loyer, et rent. Okay? That's what you're actually paying. That's the loyer you're paying, and it's 950 euros. Okay? Okay?
Oui, madame.
So, Kaylee.
Yes, I'm trying to see how could I make my sentence better.
Right. Okay. Romani has problem with this connection. So when we finish this, I'm going to show you an example that would be obviously what I would have put. But we have to remember that we have to count the number of words. Okay. You remember that it's between 80 and 100 words. Okay. So Becca, combien coûte le loyer par mois? Yes, that's what I expected to see. Combien coûte le loyer par mois? Ou c'est combien le loyer par mois? Anything like that. Okay. Becca, d'accord. Combien coûte le loyer par mois? She even put accent circonflexe on the coûte, which is very good. OK. Combien coûte le loyer par mois? OK. So, monsieur, c'est 950 € par mois et l'eau, l'électricité, la climatisation sont comprises. OK. Alors, you remember that the last thing was about the viewing. So if you do the third rule now, please. Alors, Akili, c'est d'accord? Akili? Akili,
Madam.
cannot have to. We decided from the outset that it's a formal conversation because it's a landlord, we don't know him. All right? It has to be vous. You cannot have to.
Oh,
It's impossible.
oui,
And you
madam.
can't have tu me peux. It's tu peux me. And coûte is is the verb. Là, I don't know if it's your article. It doesn't make sense there, actually. Alors, Kelly, c'est bon. You love c'est bon. Why you say c'est bon, c'est bon? We've already got c'est bon in there. We don't want c'est bon again. Combien est l'appartement par mois? Okay, if you don't know the word for rent, then that works. Okay. Anything else? So that was for the one before, right? So, Kaylee, we want now number 3, the third vous,
Okay, miss.
about the arrangement, the viewing arrangement. Does the noise come from you, Kaylee?
Oui, madame, but it stopped.
Okay. Just mute.
Give me 2 seconds.
Because we don't need to hear you at this point, so. Akili, I don't know what you're writing. Tu me peux la coûte du loyer.
I was trying to say.
Because there's no verb. When you have can, you need to have a verb after can, and I don't see it there.
Oh, that's the problem. Oui, madam.
Now, Kaylee, you can still mute, and then when you want to talk, just
Okay.
talk. Okay? Thank you. Alors, Becky says, d'accord, c'est parfait. Mais combien coûte? Why du loyer? Why du, Becky? I'm not sure why du, okay? So,
Madam, we're answering the third vous, right?
yes.
Okay.
Romani, are you still with us? Oh là 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 là, non, 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 non. Akili, no, 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 no. All right, guys, you need to know that when you have can, whatever comes after the can, like vous pouvez, has to be in the infinitive form. You cannot put present and imperative next to each other. It's impossible. We cannot have it in English either. All right? Yes. It's one or the other. Okay? So Becky changed and put say. I don't understand why the say is like that.
Madam, have we answered all of the cues already?
No.
Okay.
I haven't put any there yet. We are number 3.
Okay.
C'est parfait. Becky, the say is not quite right. Okay. Mais combien coûte le loyer? No. You can't have coûte and est. You're putting 2 verbs in the present tense. You have to choose. Okay. And coûte has a circumflex accent. Okay. So, vous pouvez me décrire what? You can describe to me what? That?
Yes, I could. Well, I
No,
was
it
asking
doesn't work.
to me the
No.
price.
Je suis désolé.
Okay, Romani, you disappeared. Welcome back. Okay, I'm a bit disappointed with that one, but because I don't see, um, because remember, we are in number three.
Number
Kaylee, we are in number three. I know why you're confused. It's because Akili is behind. He's still trying to work on number two, but we are on number three. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we are on the viewing.
did notice, Miss.
Ok, d'un Sunset Maroon. Oh, d'accord, c'est parfait. Mais vous pouvez me dire combien ça coûte le loyer? I like that. Okay. This was for the number two. Okay. D'accord, c'est parfait. Can you see it on the screen? Mais vous pouvez me dire combien ça coûte le loyer? Spoken, yes, it will work. Okay. Alors, Ania, put parfait, je pense que c'est près de mon travail. Ah, it's clear, it's near my workplace. OK. Quel est le coût pour le mois? Ania, doesn't work. Quel est le coût? And coût doesn't have an E at the end. OK. Okay, you are still working on number two, but I'm on number three. The viewing arrangement. Nobody has done the viewing arrangement as yet. You're all tired?
Miss, could you tell me what notary means, Miss? I realize I don't know what it means. Please. Oh, merci, madame.
Notre rendez-vous, c'est à 9h. Notre rendez-vous means our appointment. Okay?
Oui, madame.
So where is Becca, Janae? Are you gone? For number three? OK, Dan Sunset Maroon said, quand sera notre prochain rendez-vous? OK, that could work without the E à prochaine because rendez-vous is masculine, it's not feminine. OK. OK, parfait. Je voudrais un rendez-vous à 9h. C'est bon. You love c'est bon. Everybody's putting c'est bon. I don't teach c'est bon, but... OK. Alors, A, Becca, you need, A needs to have the accent because it's the preposition you're talking about. OK. OK, parfait. Je voudrais un rendez-vous à 9h. C'est bon. OK. Jamais. Oh là là, c'est bon. Where's your article, Jamais? Et c'est dans mon budget. Prends un autre rendez-vous. OK. Rendez-vous has a hyphen. OK. Alors, I like c'est dans mon budget. I like that. Very nice. I like that. Alors, c'est bon prix. Doesn't work, Janet. Okay. Actually, I don't want to see bon again.
Oui, madame.
C'est très bon is when you have a nice glass of something and you drink it, say, c'est très bon. You
Oui,
eat
madame.
a piece of cake, c'est très bon. This is where we are with bon. Quelle la date que je peux... Where's your verb, Akili? What the date is? What is the date?
Oui, madame.
But what is the date que je peux... Ouh là là, c'est... Akili, change that. Romani, très bien. Ah, il put bien, ok. Don't forget your accent à très. À quelle heure serait-il possible de le visiter? I like that. I would like you to change, well, not to change, but to add two things, Romani, to this. The accent, the first accent at très and the accent at a. Very important, okay? Remember, you know, the penalized for accents. Kaylee, oh là là, est-ce que je peux voir l'appartement demain à 9h? Ah, with the accent, Kaylee, again. Okay.
Miss, I don't know how to get access to the accents on my keyboard.
All right, okay, all right, fine. But I'm just saying it just in case, you know, because you tend to remember what you see. And because you didn't see an accent today, when the exam comes, you're just going to put what is there. So that's why I'm very picky. I would like to see the accents so that you don't make the mistakes on the day. Okay? Dunson said, Maroon said, d'accord, quand est-ce que je peux le voir? Quand est-ce que je peux le voir? Oh, you are in number 2. We are in number 3, Akili. We're in number 3.
Oui, madame.
So I don't know why you're back to that. Okay. Janae, Miss, is my answer correct? So I'm trying to do... Oh là là, c'est... Yes, I said, Janae, I like c'est dans mon budget, but c'est bon prix is incorrect. That's what I said. And I also said rendezvous has a hyphen between rendez and vous as I put it in the text there. Okay.
Okay.
Ok, alors I like that, très bien. Romani, à quelle heure serait-il possible de le visiter? I like that. But the only thing with this is that what is missing with this one, Romani, is that you didn't mention the appointment because the owner says c'est bon. So c'est bon what? If you say à quelle heure serait-il possible de le visiter, straight away I expect a time. But that's not what he said. He said c'est bon. So, can you change that?
D'accord.
So you have to be careful. You have to read everything, okay? If somebody says, at what time are we meeting tomorrow? You're not going to say, okay, 2 o'clock. You're going to say 2 o'clock. Is that okay? The okay will come after, no? But not first. So it means something is missing, right?
Oh, so I suggested 9. That's why he said we can meet at
And then he says, c'est bon.
Oh.
Ah, you got it now. Mm-hmm. So one thing I would say, you have between 80 and 100 words. Try to keep more to the 80 than the 100 unless you feel very comfortable with the writing, because you know that the more you write, the more mistakes we're going to see, right?
Oui, madame.
So, Akili, j'aime le prix. OK. Est-ce que je peux le voir à 9 h mardi? OK. I don't know that mardi is the right word because he said c'est à 9 h. So I'm assuming that it will be tomorrow more than mardi. Est-ce que je peux le voir à 9 h demain? Demain à 9 h, something like that. OK. So Jane, c'est oh là là, c'est un bon prix. Ah, Jane, et c'est dans mon budget. Quand un autre rendez-vous? OK. So Jane, now, quand un autre rendez-vous, you could add, is 9 o'clock okay? And then the person said, OK, c'est bon. Notre rendez-vous, c'est à 9 h. OK? Or maybe you want to say, is it in, can we have it in the morning? C'est bon. And then you give the time. It depends. You know, you can play with that. Okay? The problem with this one, you are not addressing the c'est bon. C'est bon means it's okay. It's okay what? If you say quand un autre rendez-vous, I'm going to say, okay, we have the appointment on such and such day, whatever, and a time. Okay. So that's it. You're getting tired, guys. We're coming to the end. Yes. So when you finish this, I'm going to show you an example. It's not the perfect example, but it's a possibility. Okay. And I tried to do it using your level of French, okay? Because there are different ways of writing the same piece. So, okay. So Janae said, pouvons-nous, you can't have le avoir, Janae, because you have again a word next to it which starts with a vowel. But it depends on why you put Janae first. Ah oui, quand est notre rendez-vous, pouvons-nous l'avoir à 9 h? Okay, that is fine. Don't forget the A has an accent on it. Okay. Alors, Janae, if you can put everything in one go as you put it originally, I can show the viewers what you put. But it has to be in one box. Okay. And then for those who have finished, c'est bon, notre rendez-vous, c'est à 9 h. Can you just finish the last sentence? Okay. Finish the dialogue. That should be very simple. Alors, Anya, you put d'accord, j'ai quelques heures. À quelle heure est notre rendez-vous demain? Okay, but again, you didn't put c'est bon. Okay. J'ai quelques heures. Alors, you put quelques with an S, but heure with no S. And where, Anya, where is your article? Okay, you need to remember your articles, okay? Alors, Romani, you put merci beaucoup, à demain. Okay, that is a possibility for the last one. A simple way of staying. Okay. Anything else? Alors, Danay, oh là là, c'est un bon prix et c'est dans mon budget. Quand est notre rendez-vous? Pouvons-nous l'avoir à 9h? Okay, I'm going to put it, but please remember that R here has an accent, okay? C'est un bon prix et c'est dans mon budget. I like that, c'est dans mon budget. Very good. Quand est notre rendez-vous? Pouvons-nous l'avoir à 9h? Yeah, you can say that. Okay. Dan Sunset Maroon, je vous remercie. With an E. OK, à demain, passez une bonne journée. OK, that is something like that. OK. All right, so have you got any questions on this? Because now the three of you, you went through it. Okay. Is there anything you think that was very new to you, or you thought, okay, I didn't realize that I should be doing this or doing that? The word limit, yeah, the word limit. So after that, when you finish, you have to count your whatever you put. So another way of doing it as well is to count your words for each answer, and then you will know how much you have, if you've reached the 80, or okay. Alors, dance, what, Miss, is my answer okay for the last one? I said yes, it was correct, but the E is missing at remercie. That's what I was saying. All right. So anything worth mentioning apart from the word limit?
Well, Miss, personally, I realized that it's good to work on the object pronouns so that you can try and avoid the
The
constant
repetitions. Yes. Because that's what the object pronouns are for, is to avoid repetitions. And if you repeat apartment 3 times in one sentence, All right. Okay, so you learned that. Kaylee or Romani, anything else? No, Romani talked about the word limit, so I'm not going to bother him again. What about you, Kaylee? Anything worth mentioning?
Well, I believe that I could do a lot more practice and I need to showcase my French skills, like the use of my verbs a lot more.
Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to show you what I've tried to do. Okay. So, allô, bonjour, puis-je vous aider? Allô, bonjour, monsieur. It could be bonjour, madame, of course. J'ai vu votre annonce. I saw your ad. Okay. J'ai vu votre annonce, because generally that's what happened. They put an ad to advertise for their accommodation. Je cherche un petit appartement. Vous en avez? Je cherche un petit appartement. Vous en avez? Okay. So when I say j'ai vu votre annonce, it could be that it could be a company, saying that they have accommodations, but it's not very clear which one it is. So I said, I'm looking for a small flat. Do you have one? No, I didn't say do you have one. Do you have any? Oui, j'en ai deux. So I had to put vous en avez because he said j'en ai deux. So it was to answer that. Mais il y en a un qui est encore occupé. So I said, quand sera-t-il disponible? Eh bien, en principe, à partir de la fin de juillet. Alors, then, I say, pourriez-vous me le décrire? I think that's what Akili was trying to say. Pourriez-vous me le décrire? Combien de pièces y a-t-il? So, I put pièces because of it says there's 2 bedrooms and so on. Okay. So then, because the next one, if you remember, said 3 chambres, so I had to say, vous avez juste 2 chambres? You only have 2 bedrooms? I was looking for 3. Okay, j'en cherchais 3. So this is a lot, as you can see, there's a lot of pronouns. You have the vous en avez, le d'écrire, j'en cherchais, en. Okay, bien. Then when it says 3 chambres, il y en a un autre, mais ce n'est pas à cet endroit. Ah bon? Like, surprise. Ah bon? Est-ce que je pourrais le voir? Could I see it? Est-ce que je peux le voir? Est-ce que je pourrais le voir? It's the same thing. I put pourrait because for politeness. OK? Oui, vous pouvez le voir demain et c'est situé à 3 km d'ici. OK. Bien, here I could have said, est-ce que je pourrais le voir? Où se trouve-t-il? This is what I had planned to put. Où se trouve-t-il et est-ce que je pourrais le voir? And that would answer, c'est situé à 3 km d'ici. Quel est le montant du loyer? Ou est-ce que les charges sont comprises? C'est combien le loyer? You could have put any of those, OK? Monsieur, c'est 950 € par mois et l'eau, l'électricité et la climatisation sont comprises. Then I put, ça me convient, that suits me, OK? Like the other one, somebody who said, I think it was Janae who said, c'est dans mon budget. That would have gone very well there. Je peux le visiter demain à 9h? So I've already put, je peux le visiter demain à 9h. And he said, well, c'est bon, notre rendez-vous, c'est à 9h. OK. À demain, 9h. As some French people do, they remind you that it's 9 o'clock. Donc, à demain, 9h. Au revoir, monsieur. And that's it. So that was 83 words. I wanted to add other things, but I didn't want to because I wouldn't like you to do up to 100 words because if you do, it's, there will be mistakes, more mistakes. So that's why.
Madam,
Now, thinking about it, it will probably be a little bit less than 83 because est-ce que les charges sont comprises ou c'est combien le loyer? It was just, obviously, I have a feeling that I had included that. I can't remember, actually. I can't remember if the 83 included the red or not, but it gives you an idea. Okay?
Madam.
So what do you think? It's something you have written yourself, right?
Oui,
if
madame.
somebody has a question.
Yeah, it's something, I tried not to make it too complicated. And you can see that you could have done it yourself, I'm pretty sure. But remember, a rule, 2 verbs follow each other. The second always takes the infinitive form, Akili. Okay? So
Oui,
when
madame.
you have pourrier, which is the first one, d'écrire has to be in the infinitive form, meaning the form with no tense in it.
Oui, madame.
Okay? So you have to remember that. Okay? Anything I put that you didn't understand? Or is it clear?
It's very clear for me, miss.
Very clear? Okay. I'm just going to the next slide to see if there's... Alors, ça me convient is probably an expression you may want to use. It suits me. Okay. That works for me.
So much.
And then remember, le loyer is the rent. Okay. I know you haven't reached that age where you have to rent your accommodation, but yes, this is the type of vocabulary you have to, yeah.
Oui, madame.
Okay. So, any comments from anybody from the chat or from our guests here? Anything? How are you feeling?
I feel more confident in my ability to answer the questions when they come on the exam. It's been a lot of practice, and I've got to learn a lot more vocabulary.
Yeah, yeah, because we never know what context is going to be. Okay. Now, the video which was released on Thursday has one in it. So look at it because it's a different context. It has nothing to do with the, accommodation. So look and see what kind of vocabulary you need to learn and so on. And there's an example in it. So you can look at that. And there's also other lives which were done some time ago, like one of those lives we're doing now. And you would have had another context. So the more context you see, you're going to look at the vocabulary. Is there any word I can't, I don't know? So you have to learn the vocabulary as well. And because the first thing you have to do is really to understand the text. If you don't understand the text, you will be stuck. Okay, so, but they try not to put complicated words, as you can see. The words were fairly straightforward, but sometimes there's one or two words. For example, if they're talking about a fine and you don't remember the word for fine, okay, somebody who, I don't know, did park where he or she shouldn't have parked, and they're talking about a fine and you don't know the word and it's in there, you'll be stuck with that particular response. Okay.
Oui, madam.
So yeah. All right. So somebody asked a question, Miss, when do you use en? Well, that is another lesson. Okay, alors Becca responded, used to replace partitive article plus noun, I think. All right, so okay, let's put the text again so that you can see where it was. All right, in my first response, I said, vous en avez? Do you have any? Okay. It's like saying, when he says, oui, j'en ai deux, I have two of them. Okay. So that's what that's the on which we, of them. Okay. You can't use the you can't use the le or la, the direct or indirect pronoun in wouldn't work. Okay. If you can't say with a number, je les ai deux. No, you can't have that. You can only have Jean. Okay, Lola is asking, Madam, what are the whole possible scenarios which we can get for the dialogue? I cannot answer that question. It's CXC, which comes up with the dialogues, and we have all sorts. So as I said, the best thing is to go through the videos where you have contextual dialogues. You're going to see what the dialogue is about, and that will give you a context. Okay? Yeah. So Becca is saying, it's like saying vous avez des appartements, but you're replacing des appartements with the vous en avez. Yes, I agree. What I didn't, alors to go back to vous en avez, basically the en is replacing, because remember, a pronoun replaces a noun. Now, which noun am I replacing? Is appartement. I didn't want to say, je cherche un petit appartement. Vous avez des appartements? I didn't want to do that, actually. I didn't want to put appartement a second time. So I put vous en avez. Okay. And originally, I put vous en avez un. And then I said, okay, I'm not going to put vous en avez un because he said j'en ai deux. So that's the reason why I didn't. But it's because I don't want to reuse the same word. It's the same. Vous avez juste deux chambres? J'en cherchais trois. I didn't want to say vous avez juste 2 chambres. Je cherchais 3 chambres. I don't want to have chambre twice in the same sentence. Okay? So if you have 2 chambres, which are 2 words, vous avez juste 2 chambres, j'en cherchais 3. And also one thing I can say, when you have numbers like that, you will have the en. Okay, j'en ai 2, j'en cherchais 3. You see, you have the en and not the le, la, or lui. Okay, so have I answered the question? Janae, is Janae who asked. Have I answered your question? All right, so guys, I'm going to wish you all the best with your exam when it comes. I may have another live next week. I'm between 2 minds between reading or situations, but it's more likely to be situations. And I know that Romani and Akili wanted situations originally. So I will probably do that. Okay, so if you're still up to it, are you up to it? And Kaylee?
Oui, madame.
Oui, madame.
Oui, madame.
Okay. So by the time, it's like a marathon, by the time you finish, because the good thing about this is that I'm correcting your mistakes. And
Oui,
that
madame.
is what is good about it. Okay, so bonjour, Madame Ndala. She's suggesting something. Read the word limit and counting. There are about 10 speech acts to be filled in. In fact, this one only had 8. I counted it. There wasn't, I thought it was 10, and I thought I would calculate, but then I realized that depending on the year, it's different. So it's between 8 and 10. Try to have possibly 8 to 10 words per speech act to get the 100. Maximum allowed by CXC is 110. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So that's exactly what I tried to do. I looked and I said, oh, if they have 10, I would go by 10 because 10 by 10 is 100. It's much easier to count. But, okay. So she said they used to give 8. Now they've increased. Okay. I didn't count the latest, but this one was 2015, I think. Okay. So I didn't look at the one from last year. So if it's
I
10,
feel like most persons go under the word limit instead of above the word limit.
well, the thing is, Sylvia, Madame Mendala said 2017. I think this one, I can't remember if it's 2017. Well, maybe you will know better. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that count the cues, not the cues, sorry. Count the responses where you have to respond. And if there's 10 of them, you have to write 10 or less than 10 if you don't want to go up to 100. Okay.
Oui,
Yeah.
madame.
So Janae says, I always have a problem trying to stay under the limit. Yeah. So now you have to go under the limit. You have to, because after a certain number of words, they don't read on. So it makes no sense. Okay. All right, so guys, another thing I would love you to be able to do is to help the videos to be visible, especially by YouTube, is to like it and, putting some comments, especially after the live, because the issue is that after the live there are no more comments. All the comments are inside and not outside. Okay. All right. So Madame Mendala said you can write 10 words less, but not less than that, or you will be penalized. It's hard to write very little. Yeah, it's true. Especially, and that was my issue when I wanted to write certain things. It's when I want to use idioms to, to impress the examiner. You find that idioms is good when you can find some idioms, put them. But too many idioms, very often you'll find that it goes well beyond 100 words. So you have to be careful. As long as you stick to what they want, okay, you'll be okay. But what she's saying, do not write less than 70 words, of course. You can't write, I would say, even 75. No, you have to write minimum 80 and maximum 100. You have to stick to this. Okay, I don't even give you any alternative. Okay, and another thing as well, just to finish off, when you do it here, you see how long it takes you. Remember, you won't have 2 hours to do it, So you have to practice.
Yeah, madam.
Okay, so you can try to do that again on your own, not tomorrow, but in a few days' time, and to see how long you're taking. Time yourself as well. Okay?
Oui, madam.
Yeah, madam.
All right, so I'm going to leave you all. Thank you very much, and hopefully see you on Sunday. And thank you to, of course, my 3 guests, but also everybody who participated. And I'm very pleased to see some of the names who were, there last week and who did very well as well. So, and also merci Madame Ndala for your suggestions. As usual, thank you very much. And obviously, I'm not going to do another contextual dialogue next week, but I think situation will probably be the one you will want. Okay? All right. So, au revoir tout le monde. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.